if your healing or your forgiveness
Mm-hmm.
is based upon another person's actions,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be beholden to them moving forward.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have no control over your moving on, your healing, right?
Yes. Yes.
So if that person never does say, you know what, I'm sorry for XYZ,
Yeah.
will you just carry that shit to your grave?
What's up, everybody? This is Big Frank the Tank, aka Big Reno, and welcome to Kings Can Move On. We on a special podcast tonight, and we got my boy in the house, co-host. Go ahead, Big Wood, and explain yourself. Who are you, sir?
This is smooth jazz on your station. This is Big J, the mellow one, aka Wood. Knock him down, aka KCH Town. What's up with it, yo? What's up,
Yeah.
man?
What's up, big dog? How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, my dude. I'm doing all right. What's what you got going on here, man? What's the deal today, bro?
So, brother, this is a special episode we got here
Like a
because
bonus.
both of us we had problems or we have challenges. I hate to say the word problems, so I'm gonna say challenges. We have
Opportunity.
challenges on
Opportunity.
opportunity. That's a great ass damn question right there. I mean, great ass answer right there.
Oh shit.
Listen, we talking about today's episode is about forgiving your ex. And this is a challenge for both of us because we both have challenges in dealing with that, and we just want to talk about that. So, Big J, as I take a drink here,
Forgiveness, right? That's the word,
yeah,
right?
yeah, we've known each other for 30 plus years, man, and
True that. True that.
we've been brothers through that time, man, and we've seen a lot. Goddamn hair on my damn tongue. We've been through a lot of shit. Ain't no let me stop. We've been through a lot of shit to where we've seen each other through a lot of relationships.
Yeah, a lot of relationships, a lot of stuff,
Yeah,
a lot of mini relationships, a lot of long relationships, a lot
right.
of a lot of excursions,
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot of crushes,
yeah, yeah.
all of
So
that from high school on through college on through manhood. So
right.
yeah,
So we've broken some hearts and we've had our heart broken
yeah,
through it all, through these 30 plus years. You know what I'm saying? So let me ask you, you ever been through a situation where someone has broken your heart and you have forgiven them for doing that? Go.
well, since I'm on the spot, this wasn't my idea, by the way.
Yeah, that's what this idea.
But have I had my heart broken? Yes, of course I have.
Okay.
Have I forgiven that person for doing so? Probably not.
Now, why do you feel like you have not forgiven them?
um, Probably because it happened for me in the past. Um, I haven't had to see them again or talk to them again, and for me, I push it way in the back of my mind and just put in a little capsule and never deal with it again. So
Well, and forgive me for everybody. I gotta this subject right here. I'm throwing my sage in to where I gotta clear this motherfucking air
for y'all
because
that can't see, he's
yeah,
burning sage and running it through the room like Kyrie Irving right now.
man,
Yeah,
because we gonna need some different energy up in this
it's gonna
motherfucker.
get funky.
Yes, sir. All right. So you haven't seen any of your exes. Have you ever ran into any of your exes?
Yeah, yeah. No,
Have you?
I've seen exes, but you asked me about ones that broke my heart.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and in particular, no.
Really?
Um, because in particular, I think about the one in college.
Yeah.
Now, I was young and stupid, and I fell for a woman that wasn't really the right woman to fall for.
Do
And
you think she apologized to you?
has she?
No, no. Do you think that like if you saw her today, that's been what 90, 91, 92.
It's
So
been
it's been over 30 plus
30
years.
plus years.
Do you think that if you saw her today that if she would say, you know what, Jason, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for hurting you.
Um, well, I like to think that she's grown, and maybe if I express what I've, felt, maybe she would. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows if she even knows what the hell? I mean, to her, she may not even think about what happened. Because I'm like, it wasn't like I had some big breakdown in front of her. I just,
Right.
I just stopped dealing with her, but I carry that shit with me though, and
Do do
so
you I don't know. So like when that happened, that pretty much happened our first year down in LU.
right. I'm like what, 18, 19 years old.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say that that's your hardest, the hardest thing that you dealt with as far as being deceived, shall I say?
Probably so.
Really?
Yeah, probably so. Because I was at that after that, my mindset shifted.
Hmm.
Um, I took that from college into the real world, and I thought, okay, do that again.
Hmm. Hmm.
And yeah, it kind of hardened me, right? It kind of like it shifted how I dealt with women.
Hmm.
I wasn't as open and as willing to just open up. I was more guarded and kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, you
So
know,
do you feel like that affected you in your marriage? Do you feel like that being hard like that affected you in the marriage that you were in?
it's hard to say. Um, I
But at
think,
least been a foundation.
I think every relationship I've had, I probably started out well guarded
Hmm.
and protecting my heart at all costs. So I would say, how some people can meet, get together, and just fall like in mad love real fast and quick.
Hmm.
I don't do that. I
You're
don't.
more
I don't. I
calculated with
don't
it.
fall quick or easily. You
So
know.
so you're more calculated with your love
Yeah.
than with me. On
Yeah.
the other hand, I look at it like, okay, I'm feeling that vibe, and I can.
You jump in. You throw the heart out there and like, you. From what I know about you, I know you big on the vibe. You big on you look at what do they call them, the signs,
Hmm.
zodiac signs. You're big on matching up zodiac signs and stuff like that with what's a match. I don't do any of that stuff, but yeah, I am very calculated, and it's probably been to my detriment, to be honest with you,
Hmm.
because I watch other people that are in love and so forth, and I think, have I had that feeling? I don't
Hmm.
know. I mean, because I've been so guarded and so controlled with mine that I haven't just opened up immediately like, oh, you know, let me love. I'm just like, let me try this
Okay.
out.
So do you feel like you've ever completely let yourself go to any woman?
If we're being real honest, I don't think I
Yeah,
have. I don't think I have.
really. Okay.
Not
What
even.
do you think it would take for you to get to that point?
Well, the first thing is it's not about the person. It's not their. It's not for them. It's for me. I
Hmm.
have to. I have to unlock some things about myself to become, as they say, vulnerable and allow. My whole thing has always been about not getting hurt, right?
Hmm.
It's always
Hmm.
about not getting hurt. And the best way for me not to get hurt is to feel less.
Well, dog, I mean, if you trying to, if you really want that, if you really want that connection with someone, or do you want that connection with someone? I guess I should ask. Do you really want that 100% connection with someone?
So listen, when we start this episode,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's about forgiveness, right?
Yeah.
And somehow we've gotten on to Jason and his lack of feelings. This was supposed to be about Frank
No,
forgiving his
no.
ex. So
This
why
is
the
about
hell
Wood and Reno. Wood and
we talking
Reno, baby.
about me and my shit?
Yeah.
We should be asking Frank why he can't forgive his ex. Exes. That's the question on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Can you
Mm-hmm.
forgive those that have wronged you?
All right. So I'll we're being vulnerable here, folks. And I'll say with my second wife, I have forgiven her for the things that she's done. I don't know, nor do I care if she's forgiven me for the shit that I've done. And not as far as cheating. Cheating with my second marriage, there was no cheating involved on my end. I can't speak for her 100%. I don't know. I don't think she did, but I can't speak for her 100%. But I can speak for myself. I have forgiven her for the things that she's done during our marriage. Do I forget? No, hell no.
If you're enjoying this podcast, don't forget to subscribe and like us on YouTube and rate and follow us on your favorite podcast platform.
Hell no. For my first one,
Here we
it's a
go.
challenge.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Let's
It's
let's
a
let's cut that wound open. Let's cut
Oh,
get
here
this
we go.
loose. And
Here we go.
let me get my scalpel out so
Uh-huh.
I can get to that scar tissue that's all
Okay.
built up and just scabbed over and then got calcified and all that good shit.
It's deep.
Let's
It's deep.
yeah. So excuse me. Excuse me again. Your first
Let me
wife.
clear my throat.
um Even in our first episode or second episode,
Mm-hmm.
you said the things she has had done to you, you still had animosity.
Yeah.
You've been divorced how many years from her?
We split up in '04, and the divorce was final in '06.
06.
Mm-hmm.
We are right now in the year of our Lord 2022. So
Okay.
I ain't no math major, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a long ass time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not more than maybe 4 weeks ago, you still had animosity to this
Yeah.
woman.
Yeah.
What will it take for you to let that go and forgive her? What will it take for you? Not anything that she can do, We're not putting anything in someone else's court. We're saying that you can control. What will it take for you, Frank E. Rainey, to forgive your first wife for all the shit that y'all went through?
Well, I'll tell you. The first thing that it will take for me is we have to.
Oh, I think he froze up. Oh, we got lying ass.
Hey, is this thing on? Is this thing on? Can you hear me? Are we
Mic check.
breaking up? Can you
Mic
hear me
check.
now?
Hey,
Can you hear me now?
producer in the back. We need to get Frank hooked back up. He froze up. We lost him. It was getting good too. He was about to get real right now.
I think. I mean, to be honest with me and honest with you,
Please.
uh,
Lot
I think that it for me now at the point that I'm at right now in my life, I don't know what'll happen tomorrow or a year or 2 years, whatever down the line. But now it would be for her to admit the shit that she did, you know, and I know the shit that she did. I know a lot of the shit that she did from what her friends and her family told me. But for her to come to me and say, you know what, here's the shit that I did, because that's something that I did to her. Like,
So your forgiveness is based upon her actually coming to you and admitting some things and apologizing. That's what
yeah,
you're getting me?
absolutely. And,
So
and
you're
I'm not saying
saying
that it's right.
you cannot forgive her without that happening?
Not 100%. As it stands right now, not 100%. I cannot forgive her for that, because when our son died,
Yeah.
I came to her and I apologized to her about all the shit that I did.
Okay.
And her response was, okay,
Okay.
I'm sorry too.
Well, then she just apologized.
Yeah. 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 I
That,
think she said that the only reason she said that was because of our son passing, and because I came to her. I've never, excuse me, I will say that my deepest relationships, I never had a woman. Fuck that. No, I'll say in all my relationships, the woman has never come to me and said, you know what, I'm sorry. And that's one thing that I will say
never?
to women.
Never?
Not
Never
in the
ever?
shit that they've done. Ever,
Ever?
ever, 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 ever. Now, if a
So
woman
it
sees
sounds
this,
like
hmm,
that is a hang up of Frank.
yeah, yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that's one thing. I have no problem with talking about the hangups that I fucking got. I got some motherfucking hangups. I truly do. But one thing for me is to understand and acknowledge the fact that women or people, men, women, whatever, they are not going to come to you and apologize
No.
about the shit that they've done to you.
Right.
And one thing is you have to accept it anyway. That's one of the things that I'm going through life and trying to understand and trying to accept.
Okay.
But I will tell
Pause.
you. Mhm.
Pause. Pause.
Yep.
So let's unpack this. You said none of the women you've been involved with have ever apologized to you about shit they did to you. B, you said you could not forgive your first wife without that apology.
Fully forgive her. Fully forgive her.
So if your healing or your forgiveness
Mm-hmm.
is based upon another person's actions,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be beholden to them moving forward.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have no control over your moving on, your healing, right?
Yes. Yes.
So if that person never does say, you know what, I'm sorry for XYZ,
Yeah.
Will you just carry that shit to your grave?
I don't know. As it stands, if I pass right here and right now,
Yeah.
yes, I would take that shit to my grave. Will it happen in the future? Hopefully, hopefully. And I've
So
actually had counseling about that. And the counselors have said, YouTube has said, the videos that I've watched on forgiveness and letting go, they have all said, let it go.
wait a minute.
Mhm,
You said you had a YouTube video tell you that,
mhm. Yeah,
or a counselor? Have you had a real counseling session
yeah,
with
yeah,
a therapist? You sat
yeah,
down in a room
yeah,
and they broke your ass open and said, "Listen, talk to me about this."
yeah,
And they said, "Okay, Frank.
yeah.
Okay, okay." Because YouTube ain't no counselor.
No, no, no. YouTube. What I'm saying is like the videos that I've watched on forgiveness and letting go, like meditations on letting go. That is one of the that's I can let go a lot, but what someone has truly done to what someone has done to hurt me has truly I've truly held on to, and maybe that's an issue with me on the shit that I continually need to work on to be that ultimate person to where say, okay, I'm letting it go. And I think we all deal with that. I think we all deal with the thing of let this shit go. There was Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx had a comedy show where I think it's one of his first comedy shows on HBO, whatever the shit that was on back in the 90s, where he said, you better blow that shit out.
Yeah.
And that's something that we really have to learn as humans to do. Blow that shit out, let it go. And sometimes I feel like I have let it go, but then sometimes I'm looking at it like, you know what? This motherfucker really has done some hurtful, vengeful, hateful shit to me. And I don't wish anything good on them. I don't wish it. I don't wish for them to have a fucking nice house. I don't wish for them to have a fucking nice car. I don't wish for them to have a fucking nice life because that shit, they need to apologize to me. And again, I'm not saying I'm right in it. I'm not saying I'm right, but I'm saying that that's the shit that I feel. That's the shit that I go through as a man. And even as a woman feels that shit too. Woman feels like, you know what? Why should I wish this motherfucker good
Yeah.
when he cheated on me 2,800 times? You know what I'm saying? And that's the shit that we deal with as humans, you know.
So, are you familiar with the Serenity Prayer?
I'm familiar with a prayer of I even practice this, I would say 2 to 3 times a month. I look in the mirror and say it's a Hawaiian serenity prayer where they
Okay.
say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And you repeat that to yourself.
That sounds like the SNL script with Stuart Little, where he's like, "You know what? You're a good person. You're fucking awesome. And gosh darn it,
He tripping, y'all. He tripping.
what I was referring to is
God grant me to
the
accept the
serenity to
things
accept the
that
things
blah
I
blah
cannot
blah.
change, and the
Hmm.
courage to change the things I can, and the
Yeah,
wisdom to know the difference."
yeah,
Bro, you will go crazy, insane in the membrane, trying to control shit that's out of your control, trying to make somebody do something that you want them to do that you had no control over making them do. Um,
but you deal with that shit too, though. You know what I'm saying? With your ex, you deal with the
I'm
shit
working
that
on that shit too. I'm working
we
on it
all are. Yeah,
because you want what you want.
yeah.
We all do.
Hmm.
We're people that want what we want. We want you to respond a certain way. We want you
Yeah,
to answer the question a certain way. We want you to behave a certain way. And when you don't, we don't like it. The but when you're with somebody at the time, the 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 mission is to work through it and talk about it and meet in the middle somewhere. The
Mm-hmm.
problem is when you're not with that person no more. So you're not working through anything. You're not trying to resolve a relationship, but you're trying to resolve issues that you guys
Mm-hmm.
had
Mm-hmm.
that you're hanging on to. And you can come to the table with, listen, I'm sorry. Forgive me. And then you go, okay, your turn.
Right.
And you like, now say you're sorry so I can
Right.
forgive you. And they may be like, okay.
Okay. Okay.
You're like, are you sorry? For what? You're like, are you fucking serious right now? I'm like, come on,
Mm-hmm.
apologize.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you may not get it. So
And
do
that's for
you
that person
have
to
do you
decide.
have within yourself to say, even if I don't get that apology from that person, can I let it go and move on? That is the pivoting point
Right.
because you may not get it.
And see, that's where that counseling comes in. And I'm not saying just one counseling visit. I think that there's multiple counseling sessions that's needed to help you overcome that. Either multiple counseling sessions or multiple you convincing
Lifelong.
yourself to move on. Yeah,
It
yeah,
may be ongoing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so one thing with me is when my son was murdered, it's I apologized to her at that point,
Okay.
and and I thought we were trying to move on from that, move on from the past that her and I dealt with
Hmm.
in previous years. But one of the things that I noticed was the lies were still there, and so it's like, okay, I thought we were trying to work through this. If you apologize, I apologize. Where where are we going to stop the bullshit? Because I stopped the bullshit at that point. At that point I stopped the bullshit. But you didn't stop the bullshit. It was just some shit that I noticed and I seen. I'm like, you are still continuing with your lies and not sharing information with me, and I'm sharing all my shit with you. As far as with Little Reno, as far as with my son being killed,
Yeah.
I'm calling her and letting her know all the shit. I was the one that had to call her and tell her my son was dead. I was the and I don't think I would have gotten the same in return. I would have probably had to hear that from my mother or one of my cousins if she would have got that phone call first. But for me and the shit that we shared, that I needed to tell her. Like when I found that out, I called my son. I'm like, hey, I need to talk to your mama. Please have your mom call me. It is extremely important. It is extremely important. I didn't get a call for like an hour, or excuse me, I didn't get a call in an hour. I called my son back. I said, son, have you called your mom and told her that I need to talk to her? It is extremely important. And he said, yeah, I told her. She didn't call you. I said, I need you to call her back. I need you to call her back and tell her how important this is. I didn't want to tell my son, I didn't want to tell Malcolm that his big brother was murdered,
Right.
and him by himself,
Yeah.
him being by himself and having to deal with that. I wanted his mom to be there because I'm in Kansas City, they're in Dallas. She was at lunch with her girlfriend,
Yeah.
and I had to tell her that. And then she made the decision, which I agree with, I truly agree with, on not telling her son till they got a flight and came to Kansas City, till they were with their family, her family, and they told her. I mean, and he told him at that time,
Mhm.
and those are the things that I felt like I was going to respect her enough. I was going to respect my middle son enough to tell them that, to do that, and not me just saying, calling Malcolm and saying, your brother's dead. I don't feel like I would have gotten that in return. But even then, even when she came here, I hugged her and I said, I'm sorry. And I said, I'm going to find out who did this. When I found out who killed my son, the detective called me first. And when he did, I called the first call that I made was to her. I don't think I would have gotten that in return. When the detectives and the attorneys came and talked to us about them not charging the motherfucker that killed our son, instead of her saying, after it was over with and we left that office downtown, and her saying, you know what, I called the news and we need to, her and me and you need to make a statement together to this news station and have this interview with the news. I don't care for the news. I don't care for the government, but something like that needed to be heard by both of us.
Yeah.
She went and told her story and crying, and that rubbed me extremely the wrong way. And knowing that my son hadn't talked to her in 4 or 5 months before it happened, because they had a beef, because my middle son was supposed to come up here and she wouldn't let him because of her animosity with me. That just, it all rubs me the wrong way, you know?
Okay. So I'm not making a judgment on her as a mother.
Right.
Uh,
Nor am I.
yeah, but can you come to a point where all people are not, they don't operate the way you do?
No, not yet.
Well, you're gonna be a sad dude. I'm telling you, you're gonna
I'm
have
just
a
saying, not yet.
you. That's the problem, my dude.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
listen, listen. And I don't even want to label her as a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
I will say she's a different person than you.
Yeah, I agree.
Her beliefs, where she operates, where she processes things are different than you. And they
Yeah.
will be different than you. She's grown, you grown.
Mm-hmm.
She was raised one way, you was raised one way. Um, there is a difference in how you operate. So you may, no, it's not you, you will have to accept the fact that she is not the kind of person that will give you what you need for closure and forgiveness. And you're gonna
Yeah.
have to just close that door and saying and accept that she will not give me what I need, but for my betterment and for me to move on, I gotta just say okay and move forward because it's been a long time. And I'm listening to you right now, and you're very passionate about the hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And the hurt for your son is very evident and very understandable. Beyond that, if Little Reno was still here, I believe you would still have ill will towards your ex because of what you guys have gone through. And nothing would have changed. If death of a child didn't change anything,
Mm-hmm.
it sure wouldn't have changed if he was still here. So for you to forgive and be whole again, you're gonna have to accept the fact that she is who she is. You are who you are. You're together for a reason. and you may never ever see eye to eye.
Mm-hmm.
This world is so fucking big, my dude, that we're so different around the world, and even your neighbor could be so fucking different from you.
Oh yeah.
You know,
And
it's just what I'm now what you struggle with is that you had a life with this woman. You brought kids into the world. Y'all did a lot as a couple, and you loved her with
oh
all
yeah.
you had.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And yeah, it hurts, and you struggle to accept the fact that she's not who you want her to be, but she won't be.
And that's the thing.
She
I
won't be.
I understand that she's not what I wanted her to be or want her to be, and I'm not what she wanted me to be or want me to be.
Yeah.
I get that. I am accepting of that. But what I struggle with, what my challenges are, is the fact that we were high school sweethearts. We had our love at that time, but now and even back then, 5 years ago before he passed, we couldn't her and I couldn't get over the hump of, or excuse me, she couldn't get over the hump of me being with someone else. And because of that, she made my life a living hell. She made my life a living hell with trying to see my kids, with trying to co-parent and all of that. And that
So
bothers
it's
me because
done.
I missed so much time with my kids because she was
Yeah.
taking them from me.
She did it, right?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
wasn't right. She did it, but it's done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a counselor. Lord knows I ain't. You know, I have a
Mm-hmm.
counselor.
Mm-hmm.
But what you're gonna have to do, continue seeing your counselor for sure. But you're gonna have to take all of that and like put it in a box. Everything. Maybe write it out. Like write what you feel. Write what you think. And all this is eat that you put it on paper, put it in a box, and then burn that shit.
I get that. Did it. Did it.
And then like woosah.
Get it. Did it.
It's not I don't see a happy ending to y'all's existence.
Well, I feel like when,
But you gotta be happy with you. And you gotta
yeah,
be like, okay,
but I feel like
I'm not gonna
when
get an
there's going to be a
apology.
finality with the child support and arrears and shit, I
Mhm.
think that will give that finality that I am searching for. But because I'm still paying for that arrears and shit that she put on
Yeah,
all those years ago, that shit is still a problem with me.
of
And
course.
and believe me, the amount that I'm paying right now truly ain't shit. It truly ain't shit. I don't miss it when I
Does
see
it
it on my
impact
paycheck.
you?
It does not impact me, but it's the fact that she's still taking that, and that she's not giving my other son, my middle son, a fucking dime.
You can't control
Don't
it
know the
though.
situation behind it,
You can't
but
control it,
it
my
just
nigga.
bothers me. I
Listen,
understand.
it's like Big Worm said. It's the principality of the shit. Is
It's
it?
the principality of this shit, Smokey. You know,
You talking
and
my
so
shit. You
yeah.
talking my shit.
So that's why I'm against the child support system.
I
That's why
know.
I'm against
I
the
know.
governmental system
I know.
because it's bullshit. It's
I know.
fucking bullshit.
And it's very personal to you.
Yeah, it's very
Very.
personal to me.
It's so many layers, nigga. We. And by the way, this shit probably won't get aired.
No, no, we gotta hear this one. We gotta
because
hear this one because
because
just
this
because
is
it's the
like
truth.
there's layers to this shit. Like layers and layers and layers because you've gone from your forgiveness to her apologizing to the death of your child to now child support to her not giving money to Malcolm.
Mm-hmm.
Nigga, who could forgive any of that? I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
That's so much shit to deal with. So my question is, what would you forgive? What part of that can you extrapolate and say, I can forgive this? Because it don't matter. You forget this, you still got this, this, and this. So my suggestion is fuck it all.
Yeah. Yeah. Thought
Your
about that.
oldest son, God rest his soul, is gone.
Yeah.
You've been in your heart forever. Your middle son is still here. You still have an impact on his life,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of his mama. He's a grown man now. You don't have to go through her for him.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely not.
Your third child from a different woman.
Yeah.
So what is it that you still hung up on her for? The money?
That's a great question. I think.
I mean, let's think. Let me
Yeah.
say that. Let me say it again for you. Your oldest is gone. Your middle son is grown. You don't have to deal with her at all anymore.
Right.
Other than the money taken from your child support. It's gone. That money's gone, bro. Just chalk it up as being gone. They'll take it, or you can fight it for you, whatever. But it's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's gone. He's grown. The connection is done. She's history. You've moved on.
Mm-hmm.
It's history, dog. It's history. There's no need to keep dwelling on that shit.
Mm-hmm.
No need to keep trying to resolve some shit that ain't gonna be resolved. Close that chapter. Move the fuck on, King.
I think the one of the things, two of the things that I can do to move on would be pay the rest of this arrears, which I could do without a problem, and be done with it. And with that situation, I would have to deal with the fact that I still paid her all that money when she knew the situation, or I could fight the last remaining portion of it and finally be like, you know what? You know you were wrong. Everyone sees you were wrong. Everyone I think already sees that she's wrong, except for the courts. You know what I'm saying?
Would it make you feel better if they said she was wrong?
Yep. I'm serious. And but you know what? That's the vindictive part of me in my life that I need to let go.
Vindication is not yours, my brother.
I know. And I know Jesus said, forgive somebody 70 times 7. Yeah. But whoo, I mean, shit, I feel like I've forgiven her 80 times 8. Shit.
And you may give 100 times.
That ain't what Jesus said. Jesus said 70 times 7. Shit.
Okay, Bible thumper. You hypocrite ass Negro. You don't start trying to quote Bible now, you old hypocrite ass Negro. Yeah. But listen, listen. Okay, listen. Whatever she gains now, guess what?
What?
Down the line, what you reap by forgiving, letting shit go will be so much better.
I get that.
It may not be material, it may not be the money you get back, but your peace.
Peace. Yeah.
Your peace is priceless. You can't pay for that shit.
Yeah.
You can't buy it. So let me say this, and we're gonna get to closing out. But listen. You said you could either pay her off, be done with it, or keep fighting it. Negro, if you pay her off, get your life back so you can travel and do shit. You haven't been to leave the country in years because this bullshit
2011.
ass system.
Yeah, 2011.
Pay that shit off. Get your passport so we can go some fucking where. It's on a beach, smoke, play golf, and enjoy life.
Dog, I can't smoke in another country. Have you heard about Brittany Griner? They had a pen, they had a big
Cigars,
pen
man,
in
cigars.
Russia.
Hey,
You know?
yeah, not your dope.
Hey, I like weed. I don't like
Smoke a
cigars,
cigar
brother.
with me.
I don't want no damn cigar. I want cigar with the wacky
Play
tobacco in it.
golf with me on the beach of the DR, on the beach of Jamaica,
Yeah.
in Mexico. Nigga, reclaim your life. Reclaim what's yours. Let that shit that's hanging you up and holding you back go.
Yeah.
Pay it off, sign it off, close it off. Do this.
Be
You
done.
won't get what you really want, but what you will gain is some peace. And then you ain't gotta say, "Damn, Jay, where you going now?" I'm like, "Nigga, you come with me, nigga. That's where you going. Let's go.
Hey,
Let's move on for real."
and I'll tell you something. I'll tell the world something right now. This is Jay and I. We just recorded an episode before this, and I told him let's record an episode. Let's do a new one. Let's do another one. We're gonna change our clothes, which we did. I'm being real. I'm trying to be 100% real with everybody. I think Jay being real with everybody too. I know that my brother's being real with everybody too. But one of the things that I needed tonight was that this episode was for me more than it was for him on moving on. I needed to hear something like that. And I need to constantly hear something like that. And we need to constantly hear something like that as men, as women. We need to constantly hear something like this. What my brother told me, we need to hear that in order to do the things and get our mindset right to move on. Am I saying that I totally believe in what my brother told me tonight? No. But what it did do is put that seed, made that seed grow. Because people have put that seed in my head for years, but that made that seed grow. And I believe now that I'm closer than what I've ever been. And I think that's the whole premise of our Kings Can Move On podcast. There are things that my brother's gonna tell me that I'm gonna have to swallow. It's a fucking pill that I gotta swallow today. I have to swallow today. And you know what? It's late at night. So I have to go to sleep with that. And I have to talk to my creator, whatever y'all want to call it, God, universe, Allah, whatever the hell y'all want to call our central source. That's what we need to listen to and need to go off, because our source is going to give us the things that we need, the people that we need, the places that we need, the times that we need in our life to understand that, hey man, it's not worth it. I may not understand that right now. I may not understand it fully right now, but I guarantee you that tonight when I go to sleep, my subconscious has heard that. And my subconscious is going to say, that boy was right. He ain't lying. He good. He good. That's a good dude. That's a good dude. And I'm going to generate that in my conscious, and I'm going to generate that in my life. And I'm going to keep on growing. That's the part of Kings Can Move On in here, because kings can certainly move on in this world, and we can be happier, we can be healthier, and we can be a livelier person. And when our bodies leave this earth, our spirits can go on and move on and be happier. That's all it's about.
And listen, I had to get a little raw, more than I like to on the podcast. You
Love
know, I like to keep it a little tame, but it's a real subject.
it.
So I
Yeah.
had to get raw with my brother and just like speak to you directly. Like if I'm on a podcast, like I'm on the phone with you right now, just talking because
Right.
shit, you cannot move on dragging a fucking weight. That anchor is hanging you up and dragging your ass back. You can't move on. You can't.
And I didn't like to hear it.
You gotta cut the cord, chop that chain, drop that shit off, and listen. I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to myself too, because I got my shit too. I gotta deal with.
Mm-hmm.
So you ain't by yourself. We ain't sitting here saying we have moved on and we are looking back and preaching to y'all.
Yeah.
No, we're moving on at the same time that we're reaching back, helping y'all out because this is some shit that's real to us
Mm-hmm.
that we got to deal with to move on. So, real talk,
Yeah.
real shit. I don't want to do it. Like he
And
said,
he said, we probably gonna delete this shit." before we shot this shit, he's like, "We probably gonna delete this shit, nigga." I'm like, "No, we gonna keep this shit. And if he deletes this shit, I'm gonna cuss him the fuck out, and I'll talk about it every fucking podcast until he puts this shit on here because kings and queens need to hear this shit. We can move on. We can move on.
We
Put it
gonna
in our mind to do it.
publish it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna listen to it again like I always do. Make my edits and get it right. We're gonna publish it and get it out there because it's real talk. And I hope that, as much as it helps us,
Yeah.
I hope it helps somebody else
Yeah.
because this is real shit.
Absolutely.
Real shit that black men go through. And we need to be able to talk about stuff and deal with it. Otherwise, you're just gonna be hurting yourself. So
right. And I know Jay said black men. I'm saying all men. All men deal with this shit.
we all men.
Different ways. Different ways.
I am a black man. So
yeah, we're both black men, and we originally started this for black men. And don't get me wrong, because there are so many black men that are in this struggle with us right now.
Yeah.
But my goal is to reach out to all men because this is a struggle that everybody deals with. Everybody deals with.
Yeah.
And we're going to fight this shit until I'm going to fight this shit until until this fat ass body has no strength to fight anymore. And
that's just this episode. Getting your fast in shape.
Yeah.
So you can keep doing this shit. Big boy.
Big Frank the Tank.
Big Frank, Big J. We're gonna sign off with that one.
Yeah.
Long night, y'all. But
yeah,
well worth it.
Bet that.
You know what this thing is. Kings move on.
Kings move on. Love you, bro. Mwah.
All right, peace. If you enjoyed that episode, don't forget to subscribe and like us on our YouTube channel and rate and follow us on your favorite podcast platform.